Welcome to Garage Sales Unhinged.
where the characters are as quirky as the finds.
I'm Julie.
And I'm Jake.
Join us as we dive into the wild world of garage sales, yard sales, estate sales, and anywhere secondhand sales are happening.
From bizarre bargains to hilarious haggles.
You won't believe the stories we've got lined up.
Let's get unhinged.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Garage Sales Unhinged. I am Julie. The other person that you're going to hear is my brother Jake. Say hi.
Hi, that's me.
Good job, Jacob. Following directions well.
It's me, Jake.
Okay, I didn't tell you to say all that stuff. This is a podcast about secondhand sales market, but mostly about nothing because we're siblings. We talk, we know stuff about each other, and then we say them out loud on a podcast.
That's generally how it works. Yeah.
Yeah. How you doing, Jake?
I'm doing okay. I am currently looking out a window and there's a great big crow that is aggressively tossing leaves over, looking for some grub ahead of the crazy cold weather that's on the way.
What if it's looking for its car keys?
Oh, that would be awesome.
He's like, I know I dropped them here last night. I say it's a he. I'm assuming it's a he.
I'm not going to go check. I'm just going to go with that.
Oh, no, I really want you to go check and have your neighbors go, what is he doing out there chasing a crow?
I actually feed the crows. I have unsalted peanuts and we'll toss them out. And the crows get to where they go, oh, that's the guy with the peanut. And they'll just sit on a low branch and wait for you to do it. And you do it and they're like, cool, thank you.
Did you just hit old man status?
I totally did, yes.
Okay, so for everyone that's listening, Jake is 15 months older than me. You do the math on what our parents did, but like, yeah.
No.
So, Jake, if you're old man status, what does that make me?
Well, again, you do the math.
I am still a young and vivacious person who went to garage sales this weekend, and that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, that totally keeps you safe out of the old category.
So I want to talk about I went to 3 garage sales, and I feel like 3 is the magic number for me to do research and come back and then apply my research to all the garage sales in the world because I went to 3 of them. Yeah, fair enough.
That checks out.
Yeah.
Citation needed. Go ahead.
Do you want to take a guess as to why people hold a garage sale, Jake?
I figure for some people it's about making space, and some people it's about making money.
Yes, yeah, could be. All 3 garage sales I went to this weekend were people moving, and they did not want to take the stuff with them.
Okay, lightening the load.
Yes. For people that may be hosting their own garage sale because they are moving and they don't want to take all this stuff with them, I'm going to give you a little bit of advice. Put in your listing description, moving sale. Because it's different than just someone who's wanting to declutter their home or make some money. At every single one of these garage sales, the moving sale to me says, make a good offer, I'll sell it to you. So like, no matter what the price is, yep, take it. I can't take it with me. I'm not putting it back in my house. It has to go. And I at least want to make $1 on it, right? Like that's the whole concept of a garage sale.
So you feel like if they did make that more obvious, that people would be more likely to show up ready to spend some money and ready to help you reach your goal of having less stuff at the end of the day.
Correct.
Okay.
And I'm going to walk through the different sales that I went to and kind of share the differences between them. And also some of the pitfalls of having garage sales in certain areas. So I went to these garage sales with the whole purpose of researching stories for the podcast. Wasn't really looking for stuff, but if somebody had something that we could use at my house, I'd be interested in purchasing it. The first one I went to, it started at 7 a.m. I got there at like 7:08. She didn't have a lot of stuff. It was in an apartment complex, like gonna say a bunch of townhouses
Hmm.
in a really nice part of the city I live in. And also, as I was going to the sale, I was kind of like, am I going in the right direction? Because there's no signs up. It's 7 a.m. There's not a lot of lights on yet. The sun is just starting to come up. And also, this weekend, it was dark and one dark and cloudy Saturday morning. I went to garage sales. Like that was the
Yeah.
setting. It was foggy, drizzly. Um, so I get there, there's no one else there. She's there in her garage. She doesn't have a lot of stuff. So I don't know if this may be the second weekend that she had a sell, or maybe this is the first weekend she's having a sell. She doesn't have a lot of stuff, but she also has told me, like, yeah, I'm moving. I'm not taking any of this stuff with me and it's not going back inside. So whatever she doesn't sell, she's going to either throw away or donate. So she's doing what she can. Um, and a lot of times people do these garage sales because if they have to donate it or they have to throw it away, they have to do an extra layer of stuff versus if
Right.
they can sell it for a few pennies, great. Someone else is taking it and they don't have to deal with it. But she was telling me that whenever she talked to her apartment complex about, hey, can I have a garage sale? They were the ones that told her, informed her, yes, but you have to pull a permit from the city. So she did pull a permit from the city. Um, But they also said that she couldn't put up any signs in the apartment complex to direct people where her cell was. So,
Huh.
while that's very frustrating, it's also part of the rules of the rental unit, the apartment complex. And again, because it started at 7 a.m., she was the only garage that was actually open, so I knew which one it was.
Okay, that helps. Yeah.
Yeah. But again, kind of whenever you live in an apartment complex, it stinks. A recommendation would be, even though you couldn't put a sign inside the apartment complex, I would still put it either in the public space just outside the apartment complex, to point garage sale this way and like have your address on it and stuff like that. Most people are going to be using GPS. That's what I had to use to find it back there. I talked to a gentleman at a future garage sale. He tried to find it. He couldn't find it. He may not have been using GPS. But whenever you are driving around a neighborhood and if it's in an apartment complex and you can't put up signs, it is hard to find. But also pulling a permit can help people find it.
So like I'm hearing two things there. Okay, so like one, okay, if you live in a situation where the housing authority won't allow you to put signage up, find the limits of the housing authority and put it there,
Yeah.
right? The other one being a potential business model for Google to sell ad space to people like me and you. Like, hey, I need to be able to put a pin on Google Maps that advertises that I've got a garage sale going on.
You can do that. Also, like a lot of the garage sale listing websites, a
Yeah,
lot of people use those. Those
yeah.
have pins in them and stuff. I had I had it in my calendar of like when each garage sale started, what the address was. So I had it mapped out in my GPS on my phone. So again, I could say go to this location and it would send me there. Thankfully, my GPS took me directly to her garage.
Right.
Um, but
I
yeah,
gotta say, you were like really prepared. You were like
so prepared. So
going to
prepared.
places at 7 in the morning and mapping things
Yeah.
the day before. You are showing a real commitment to this podcast that is not encouraged.
Well, don't think it's gonna happen all the time. It just happened this weekend. I got a wild hair and I did it.
All right.
So, at this first garage sale, like I said, I wasn't going in with any intention. She had a lot of items that I'm gonna say is home decor, and it wasn't necessarily my flavor of home decor, so it wasn't
Mhm.
anything that I needed, but honestly, her stuff was in really good, shape and really good quality, so I could have bought something and gifted it to somebody, but I didn't know anyone that would have wanted any of that stuff either. So, I'm not in the business of storing potential gifts someday, except something I did buy, and I have it here next to me. And again, if anyone wants to see this, they can go to our Instagram handle at Garage Sales Unhinged and see this. So I bought two of these. I'm only going to show you one because the other one's a little bit bigger, but it's
Oh,
a baking dish.
yeah, this is like a baking dish that is really ornate, got a lot of floral stuff going on. It's ceramic, huh?
Yeah, it's ceramic. I'm going to read the bottom of it. It is dishwasher, microwave, and oven safe. It's made in China. It's a 2012 design. The brand is the Pioneer Woman.
Is that good?
It is a good brand. And the sticker on here is $5. So I
Okay.
bought 2 of these. This is a 10-inch oval bakeware. The other one is 12 inches. And I bought both of them together for $6. So instead of paying $10, I bought them for $6.
Now, was that a haggle you pulled or what?
I did. Yeah.
Way to go.
Thank you. And my whole intention of buying these, that if my husband and I choose not to use them in our house, is that whenever we have a friend that is just had a baby in the hospital, someone who's sick, you know me, I love to give food things for the holidays. I can put something in this dish and give it to them, dish and all, and that's their gift. So instead of putting it into a tinfoil pan, doing this dish is a little bit nicer gift to give to someone, and especially someone like if we have someone that's, new home, anything like that. If it's a nice gift to give someone, but also I'm of the mindset until I have that friend that needs that type of gift, I'm going to use these until I can give it to somebody. So
Cool.
it was kind of like, that's a really nice dish to give someone that they can use for future baking and even
Mhm.
regifting needs if they need to.
Absolutely.
Are you planning a garage sale, yard sale, or estate sale and need some help? Look no further than Garage Sale Supply. They provide top-notch resources and expert advice to help you host the perfect sale. From pricing tips to promotional strategies, they've got you covered. Visit GarageSaleSupply.com and make your next sale a success.
So I did that one. I was probably done there by 7:25, 7:20. It wasn't that long. Went to a local new bakery, got a cronut. Do you know what a cronut is?
It's a croissant donut thing, right?
And you're missing a big part of it. It's delicious. Delicious. So I got some breakfast pastries for the husband and I brought that home, had coffee with him, had the morning, and then I went to my next garage sale, which started at 8 a.m. in my neighborhood. Everything was within like a 10-minute radius.
I'm surprised you had an appetite for the cronut after you ate your Wheaties that morning, because you got up, you went to a shop, then you got breakfast, came back, had breakfast, and now you're out the door again, going to a different place?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Who is this person?
I know, right?
Okay.
I
Sorry
didn't
to
even take a
interrupt.
nap.
I
Like,
just, I don't know. Whatever they changed up for you.
well, okay, so you also have to think about it this way. If this podcast for our job on Saturday, and granted, we don't do this for our regular jobs. But on Saturday, I spent anywhere from 3 hours doing research for the podcast. And that is all of the 3 hours I had to do for this job.
Sure.
And I got a bunch of different topics for various episodes coming up. So I don't mind. And am I going to do this every weekend? Absolutely not. So
Yeah.
I was able to get several things done this past weekend. So the next one I went to started at 8 a.m. It's in my neighborhood. All of the garage sales I went to this weekend were within a 10-minute drive of where I live today.
Beautiful.
There were a bunch of garage sales this weekend, but I would have to drive a lot further out, and I ain't gotten to do that
Yeah.
because I had a cronut at home. So that
Yeah.
is not a name I use for my husband. I actually had a cronut at home. It was churro flavored. It was delicious. So the next garage sale I went to, again, the couple was moving, and again, I think there is a thing as garage sale etiquette. So whenever you go into someone's garage sale, and this is different than like maybe an estate sale, because the estate sale, the items are being sold by people that are not associated with the items.
Right.
Garage sales, yard sales, people that are doing their own estate sales, they have attachment to these things. So like you want to go, and also for anyone that does international travel or is interested in doing international travel, one of the best things you can do as a tourist is that whenever you go into someone else's shop, you greet the shopkeeper.
Right.
It goes a long way.
Yeah.
So whenever you go into the garage sales, even if it's early morning, people are still waking up, you can say hello to that person and good morning. It goes a long way. So this next couple I went to, and also the first lady, hers started at 7 a.m. She already had people show up before I showed up. This next couple, theirs started at 8 a.m. I showed up a little bit after 8 a.m. They've already had people show up. They have a lot of stuff in there. And again, they were the same way. We don't want to pack this stuff up. It can't go with us. And it's not coming back inside the house. They had a lot more things. And again, I wasn't really looking for anything in particular, but I will say some of the stuff that they had, if I was in the market for it, but it would have been gold mine. They had a small shop vac. And for a lot of homeowners, if you don't have a shop vac, get one. They're a huge benefit. This one was probably like a 5-gallon bucket size. So like the smaller size. The couple, they were talking about, it was these 2-cylinder things that were in a box. And the lady asked the guy, she said, are people going to know what these are? And he's like, yeah, they're plates that go in on a tire, like for your car. Like,
Okay. Like the brake pads?
yeah.
Okay.
And she asked her, she goes, so are men going to know what this is? And he just responded back to her real quick. Well, that's kind of a sexist question. And I snorted laughing so hard. And she was like, oh, it's not sexist. I don't know. He's like, women can know what it is too. And so like, they were kind of like doing that back and forth. And he said something about like, I bet you $100 that a man's going to buy that today though. And she was like, I'd take you up on that offer. And I just turned around and said, I'll split it with you 50-50. And he was like, no, 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 no. So apparently like placing bets on a female gender buying something wasn't going to work. So,
all right.
But we were having fun and they were a lovely couple. I ended up buying from them several pool noodles. So my husband and I, we have a pool.
You're like, I'm this close to pulling the trigger on these brake pads, but I really got my eye on these pool noodles. And I only have 75 cents. So,
Well, so they had several pool noodles.
because I'm a girl, I only know what pool noodles be.
Also, those brake pads wouldn't fit my car. So anyway, the pool noodles, they were the bigger pool noodles. And I don't know if anyone has ever shopped for pool noodles. And also saying pool noodles this often is really hard.
It is.
If anyone shopped for those during the summer, it's really hard to find them because either companies don't have them or they get sold out. They're also, for whatever reason, really expensive. Like it's
Really?
just like it's just foam. It's just
Right.
a pool noodle, right? So anyway, I got 3 good ones that can live on their own as a pool noodle. They don't need an attachment or anything. I also got some of the like the workout weights for the pool
Right.
as
Yeah.
part of that thing.
The one that you might see the septuagenarians using, Julie.
They got it from me. So yes. Me and my people like doing water aerobics, okay? Hey, water aerobics is fun and I really enjoy doing them. And then I also got a smaller pool noodle. So some of our friends came over last year. They gifted us the Uno playing cards, but they're
Okay.
plastic cards. You play them in the pool.
Oh, cool. So they're waterproof and everything.
Yes.
All right.
But we needed a table to play them on in the pool. So what they did is that they took pool noodles, attached it to the plastic top of a storage bin,
Mm-hmm.
and we used that as our floating table.
Fantastic.
Well, but they took the top of the storage bin with them because it went to one of their boxes. So anyway,
We gifted you with an idea.
so I got the pool noodle, and the next time I go to a garage sale, someone is going to be selling that size of storage box, and I'll get the lid and make my floating table out of that.
Good.
So we'll have a place to play cards this coming summer. Um,
I love that. I love that whole sentiment. They showed up with just, we're giving you the idea of a gift that you'll just have to, make for yourself. It's kind of like going, hey, I'm giving you the gift of a child's laughter, with something
uh,
you can feel good about until you realize what a ripoff this is. Why?
well, it's also, I mean, they left us the Uno cards, but they don't have a pool, so I think they used it as like, hey, if you want another floating table, we'll come back.
Right, right, yeah.
But anyway, so like that was my haul from that garage sale. I spent $1 on the pool
Various
noodles I
noodles.
collected.
Mm.
So they had other things of like a little like um ice chest that you'd put out in your garage.
Hmm.
A lot of lawn equipment. Um Honestly, like they were selling some really good stuff. And I'm going, if I was in the market for it, I could have walked away with a huge haul, but I didn't need all those things. There was a gentleman that came up, he was looking for vinyls and CDs and stuff. So I directed him to another sale that had some of those things. Um, and then he and I were talking about, oh yeah, I tried to find that other one that was in that apartment complex, and we were talking about that. And but yeah, you just kind of run into people of going, oh yeah, we're doing the same thing today. And he might have been a collector. I don't know if he was a reseller, but definitely a collector of vinyl records.
Hmm.
Um, so after that one, I the next one I was going to didn't start until 10 a.m. So I went with my husband. We ran a bunch of errands on Saturday. I was a busy beaver Saturday of
Yeah.
running all sorts of stuff. We're about to have a bunch of renovations on the house, so we had to go look at paint colors and finishes and talk about just decision overload and no thank you very much. But
Owning a home stinks. It's rotten to own your home outright. Ugh, wouldn't recommend. I hear you.
shut up. Um well, and then the last one I went to, actually my husband took me over there. He's like, well, I'll drop you off. And I was like, no, 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 don't drop me off. Cause like I don't know how long
This
I'm gonna
might
be
take just
there.
5 minutes, right?
Yeah, like I might go up there and I can see that they don't have anything and I need to leave. I'm like, I
Right.
don't want to call it Uber because you dropped me off. So anyway, we got there. It was a lovely gentleman. He's moving. I got there at like 9:56. At 10 a.m., he walks out of his house, he moves his car out of the driveway, and he opens up the garage, and his sale has started. I knew he was moving because the sale for his yard sale was on the for sale sign of his house. So I was like, yeah, definitely he's moving, and there's stuff he can't take. Now, unfortunately for his sale, and he was telling me, he's like, this is the first time I've ever done it. I don't know if I'm doing this right.
Hmm.
But he had a lot of large furniture pieces that were still inside the house.
Okay.
He took pictures of them and had them outside on a table so people could see. There was one of the pieces that if people wanted it, they would have to unassemble it inside and move out because it was too big to move through the door. And then he also had a lot of uh, plant pots in the back. I didn't need any of them, but I have a feeling that they were a very large size because he had them priced starting at $50. And so, and if they were not really big, then he had overpriced them. Some of his furniture pieces, I feel like he had overpriced. So, for the most part, whenever you're going to sell something at a garage sale, you're likely going to sell it for 60% of what you bought at retail.
Yeah.
Most time it's going to be 30%. Um, and for a lot of his pieces, he was trying to sell it at like 25% of what he sold it for, but it was still thousands of dollars. And for garage sale folks, unless they know what you're selling, they're not coming in with thousands of dollars to
Right.
purchase big
I mean, you
furniture.
gotta keep in mind too, as you figure out what your prices are, you like read the room. Like
Yeah.
people are going to, a secondhand sale because they only want to pay X much, they only want to pay this much for it. And so if you're even in the neighborhood of retail, there's no reason to, risk the wear and tear that might be on this thing if I'm going to pay close to new prices anyway.
Mhm.
And I've got cronuts waiting for me Like, this is not the highlight of my day.
Well, and also for people that do have large pieces of items like that for sale, what I recommend, because I have friends that are like, "Hey, I have furniture to sell, but I don't need to do a garage sale. I don't want to do yard sale. How do I sell it?" And they don't want to do Facebook Marketplace. The best place to sell those is work with a consignment store that sells that because they have the clientele that are looking for those pieces. Now, granted, are you going to get as much as if you sold it yourself? No, but also you don't have to hunt down people that would want to purchase that type of furniture. The other the other stuff that the gentleman did have, and for someone who's in the market for it, man, you're probably gonna get a bargain. He had a table saw and he had a jigsaw that he was trying to sell. Nice pieces of equipment. His garage was very clean. The tools were very clean, so you knew he kept those items up.
Hmm.
Well, I don't know how much he was asking for them, but whenever I was leaving, there was a couple gentlemen walking up. They had both driven up in trucks. So maybe they knew what he was wanting to sell and they were in the market for either the furniture or those tools, but it wasn't something I was looking for. So I went in, I say went in, it was just his garage door. I was there maybe a minute, 2 minutes, realizing he doesn't have anything that I would
Yeah,
be
the
willing
sale's
to
not for
part money
you.
with.
Yeah.
And left. But I thought it was interesting. 3 different garage sales, everyone's moving. No one wants to take it with them. And so, and also, I also know too, whenever you do sell a house, if you don't want to take the furniture with you, a lot of times people just leave the furniture there and leave it up to the
Right.
next home buyers to figure out what they want to do with it.
I will tell you, there was one time I moved from an apartment and I didn't have the need for the couch I had there, and I couldn't sell it. And like I only had like so much time to move out. And so listing it someplace and like waiting for somebody to say, yeah, I want that. For even like just like I wanted peanuts for the thing. They still have to arrange to come get it because I don't have a means to move it. I ended up having to drag the thing outside.
Yeah.
And it's like, go with like it's it's yours. Anybody that's coming by. And yeah, that happens. That's a thing.
Yeah. So that was my experience with the garage sales this weekend. Everyone I met, very nice people. I also only took cash with me. So, if I wanted to haggle, it was easier to haggle with just straight up cash. Some garage
Mm.
sales will take Venmo payments.
But you
Um,
can't haggle that because you're like, you can't go, oh, I only got $10 on me.
right. Well, so the lady that I bought the ceramic pieces from, she said, "Oh, I don't have cash on me." Whenever I was like, instead of paying $5 each for these ceramics, can I do $6? And the fact that I was like, "Oh, don't worry, I have the exact amount." So I had a $5 bill and a $1 bill. I'm like, not a problem. For most people, they may have fives, they may have tens. I'm going, "Hey, I don't have exact amount." Do they try to talk it down to $5? Maybe. But I had already, and I think this comes in like trust of like, I've already haggled it to $6 because I knew
Yeah.
I could afford $6.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, anytime going to one of these places. Now, the gentleman that had the furniture and was asking thousands of dollars, if he did sell one of those, I don't know if he would take a personal check. Would he take a Zelle
Mhm.
payment? That's kind of the leery spot of when you're dealing with that much money. Like, I don't want that in
Yeah.
cash. So
Yeah.
that's a lot of dollars to have to like use your money pin on.
Well, yeah. Yeah. That does make it kind of tricky. Some items are harder to move,
Yeah.
literally, and figuratively.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. You said that all of the places you went to, that people were moving?
Yeah.
That's interesting. So, like, did they all seem like they were in like a similar place in life?
No.
No? Okay.
So the first lady, she was living in an apartment complex, renting. I don't know if she was moving to another place. Say apartment complex. It was a townhome situation. I don't know if she was. I don't know if she was married. I don't know if she was divorced. I don't know if she had a partner. I don't know if she's moving to another rental. I don't know if she's buying a place.
It was early. You didn't really like you hadn't even had cronut yet. So you weren't
Well, it's,
really you're bleary.
well, it's also one of those things. Like if someone's like, "Yeah, I'm moving," I don't want to like stir up anything. It's also none of my business as to why they're moving. So I'm like, for me to, because I thought about it, like, do I ask, like, "Oh, why are you moving?" And she's like,
Yeah.
Oh, I just went through a really traumatic divorce and like I'm like, "Oh, you're right. I haven't had my cronut yet. I don't want to deal with this."
Right. I'm really sorry to hear about that horrible stalker you're trying to get away from. So anyway, will you take 25 cents for the lamp?
Yeah. Or it's like,
I
I
don't
just
want to
lost
have a
my job.
conversation with anybody that shows up at my house. I just want you to be here for the minimum time, give me the maximum money, and then leave.
Well, it's also like, "Oh yeah, I just lost my job and I got to move back home with my parents." I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, instead of $10, will you take 6?" Like, no, that's not the right time
Yeah.
to haggle. Um, the other couple, the one that lives in my neighborhood, again, I didn't ask why they were moving. Is it for job? Are they getting a divorce? Like, I have no idea. I'm not gonna ask. Um, are they downsizing? Are they upsizing? I don't know. The older gentleman, is he downsizing? Is he moving to be closer to family? Is he gonna go live on a cruise for a year? I don't know. Like, but also I wasn't gonna buy any of his stuff. I'm just okay, thanks.
Right.
Um,
Earlier you mentioned not to take away too much from the flow here, but earlier you mentioned like there is such a thing as garage sale etiquette.
yes.
And it seems like part of that is whether you engage in conversation and what kind of conversation you engage in. Um, like say hello, you know, it's the bonjour, practicum. It's just like yes, at least acknowledge that they are there, that you see them, that you are
Yeah.
not a threat, that you are here for the express purpose of pool noodle. Uh, but I feel like part of the etiquette, if it's a consignment place or an estate sale that's being run by an estate sale company, some of the etiquette isn't as necessary. But when it's the homeowner actually running the sale, there's a different layer of etiquette, I feel like, where you don't want to go and go, man, what a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
Whoever,
Definitely.
you have horrible taste, ma'am.
Yeah. You don't ever want to say anything like that. Um, like the third garage sale, his furniture was very ornate. Well, I'm not gonna say, "Oh, yeah, this is too big for my house," or, it's very ornate. You just say, "Okay, well, thank you. Good luck," and you walk away. You
Right.
don't need to comment on any of it. They don't need a reason as to why you are leaving their yard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, no. Um, the other thing is,
'Cause I'm only really willing to spend $6 on this thing. Truth is, I don't even want it. Really tacky. Anybody that has this is a total jerk. Will you take $5?
yeah, it doesn't
Trying
really
to
bode well.
gaslight the person into a lower price.
I mean, also part of garage sale etiquette. So the gentleman had on one of his pieces, he had $4,000 for it. Um, Now, if someone came in and said, "Hey, that's something that I'd really like to have," I mean, would he find it offensive if they offered $1,000 for it? And so that's the other thing with garage sale etiquette. You have to know what are your limits on haggling so it doesn't come across as offensive. So if he has $4,000 on it and they offered him $500, that's probably a slap in the face.
I
Like
had a situation like that occur last week, I think.
someone slapped you across the face?
Well, no, but I
I like
did
how
have
you, wait, I like how you had to think about
I had
that.
to think about it. Did someone? No. Um, Um, I'm working in the office and I've got the blinds open because I get some natural light in here. And a guy with one of these trucks with like the limb trimming
Mhm.
service comes by. So I go out to greet him, and he's offering to trim this tree, and the price he starts at is like just shy of 2 grand. And I'm certain he drove through the area and he went, okay, then given these houses, he must be able to do this kind of thing. And I just like, obviously, I was like, no, man, I don't, I don't think I'm gonna do that. And he just, in the space of about 20 seconds, he went from about 2 grand down, 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 down to about $900.
Yeah.
And in the course of doing so, I felt pretty insulted. It's like you just like reduced this by more than 50%, there's no way I'm going to do any business with you at all because this
Yeah.
is insulting that you even tried this. So it works in the garage sale scene too.
Yeah. And it's one of those things of, and even from the seller's point of view, there's garage sale etiquette
Yeah.
of, you want to be courteous to the people that are coming into your space. And also like they haven't had their cronut, they haven't had their donut, they haven't had their coffee. And, we're just trying to make ends meet. We're trying to I want a good deal on stuff. And I'm going to be respectful of their things. They should be respectful of me coming in. And, but yeah, it's just one of those things of, I think garage sales, yard sales, it's one of those things where people get to be good citizens and good neighbors
Mhm.
and hopefully just help each other out.
Well, that's just too sunny a disposition. You know, read the room, Julie. Don't you understand what's happening? Yeah,
So I need to pull up how much a actual pool noodle is because it is ridiculous.
Yeah, when you said like you were shocked at the price of pool noodles, I kind of like, wait, but then how much how much are they? I feel like Lucille Bluth, like, oh, it's a pool noodle, Michael. What could it be? $7? But it probably is. I mean,
So, oh,
it's not just
okay.
foam. It's like foam that's been treated with something that prevents water from going inside it. So it's got some jazz on it.
You said jazz, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so let's see. This one I'm looking on Amazon because that's just the easiest way to look for the stuff. I see a 12 pack of pool noodles, blue and pink, for $48.
Holy cow.
Yep. There's a 5 pack of 52-inch pool noodles, different colors, $27.
Okay, yeah, no. The point is made. Like the pool noodle, that's all just the artificial inflation from Big Noodle. They want you to divert your egg money to noodle money. Don't let it happen.
Yeah. So there's just because we're going to price out 3 of them, a 20 pack of pool noodles, $65. So like the fact that I got 4 pool noodles plus my geriatric swimming pool dumbbells for $1,
Yeah.
I am saving my family's finances.
That's right. Your retirement plan is coming to fruition. You go buy the pool noodle, plant it, and in the spring you'll have 4 pool noodle.
No, like it wasn't one of those things until I owned a pool. I'm going, why are these things so stupidly expensive? And the other thing is too, because it's just essentially a foam noodle.
Yeah.
Like they can degrade. They get torn up and stuff. And a lot of people are like, oh, let's go buy another one. They're so expensive. So now I'm like, so when I found those at the garage sale, I was like, yeah, I'm buying these. I'm taking them home. Well, they were also trying to like, oh, well, we had this whole box of like pool floaty, like inflatable stuff over here. And I was like, but I think they were like for kids. I was like, listen, I only have grown adults in my pool. We don't need this other stuff.
Yeah.
Like my pool is for drinking and floating around in.
That's right. My market is defined by immaturity.
So anyway, it was fun just to go to neighbors' houses, see what they had going on. Apparently a lot of people are moving.
In an ethical way for once.
Ethical way.
Right.
A lot of people are moving, but that also means a lot of people are moving into my neighborhood.
Well, thank you for sharing the details of the adventure. Now I'm really kind of going, how can I need to invest in pool noodle. How do I, because it seems like that's just only going to go places.
You don't have a pool noodle guy? That's weird. I got a guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, that's this week's episode.
Well, thanks, Julie. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.